Ugh. Yeah, that's definitely going in. Michael Diamond, Adam Yauch, Adam Horowitz, or as they're also known as Mike D, MCA, and Ad Rock, or as you would mainly know them as Beastie Boys! Legends of hip hop. The trio have helped popularize sampling in hip hop, helped the genre reach mainstream appeal, and have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. However, there was a time where they didn't even consider going into hip hop at first. Originally formed in '81 as a 4-piece punk rock band, they used to go into punk rock clubs as young as 14. But after hearing tracks such as Super Rhymes by Jimmy Spicer and Super Rappin' by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, they decided to join the underground hip-hop movement of the 80s. They called themselves the Beastie Boys, which is an anagram of, what was it an anagram of again?
Boys entering anarchistic states towards inner excellence.
Ah, thank you.
It was a stupid name.
Yes, it is a stupid name.
No, and here we are.
Eventually they signed to Def Jam in '87 and released their debut album, Licensed to Ill. It was praised for its combination of rap with elements of hard rock. After that they signed to another label and released Paul's Boutique, and while popular today, it wasn't nearly as successful as their debut. Their next album didn't do much better, and the band seemed like they were going to be one-hit wonders, only known for a joke song from their debut album that people took way too seriously. They were destined to be forgotten, until they released an album, a song even, that helped them get back into the public consciousness and helped them get back to their roots. The Sabotage saved the Beastie Boys.
Whimbulm.
Brilliant drop! Beastie Boys. They're like Blink-182, except they don't have to get naked to be funny. In 1986, they released their debut album, Licensed to Ill, and it became the first rap record to top the Billboard charts.
Their album is called License to Ill. That's a stupid name for an album.
It launched the boys into superstardom. The album had many hits such as No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Paul Revere, Hold It Now Hit It, Brass Monkey, and the biggest of all of these, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party. Oh, my leg. A joke song written by the lads about, well, partying. It was supposed to be a parody on the jock lifestyle. It was released with a music video of the lads crashing a party and absolutely wrecking the place. It's probably one of my favourite music videos of all time.
We can invite all our friends and have soda and pie.
Yeah!
I hope no bad people show up.
However, due to the track being the most successful from the album and the lads suddenly being launched into superstardom, they became what they described as what they set out to make fun of.
And you look out at the audience and it's like, oh my god, wait, you're making fun of this thing and now we are this thing, and now not only that, we're expected to be this thing, and if we're not that thing, then who are we?
It made the three come off as idiots who want to do nothing but party and get drunk all the time. When the tour they were on to promote the album ended, the guys never performed the song again because of how it portrayed them. And no, they didn't even pull a Radiohead and perform it again after years. They never ever played the song since '87. Look it up if you don't believe me, there are no modern performances of this track. The only time they've done anything with the song since was to do a sequel to the music video in 2011, and even then it was just a music video for Make Some Noise. They then decided to leave Def Jam and eventually get signed to Capitol Records in '88. Because of the humongous amount of success Licensed to Ill had, the label took them in with open arms. They had a big party for them and everything. They even replaced the flag that they had with a Beastie Boys one. That's how confident they were about the lads.
Their new record, Paul's Boutique, will definitely blow away any speculation or misconception about what this group can do. I think the boys have delivered what can be honestly compared to as the Sgt. Pepper of rap.
The lads then went into the studio to record their follow-up record, 1999's Paul's Boutique. The album was drastically different compared to Licensed to Ill. It focused more on sampling with nearly 300. Well, you're probably wondering, how did they afford all those? Well, the rules of sampling weren't as strict as they are now. There's a really good documentary that explains it better than I can, so I'll link it to you. I'll give you a few minutes to check it out and I'll still be here waiting for you. Okay, you're back. Right, let's continue. Anyway, the album is often considered one of the best albums of all time, sometimes referred to as the Sgt. Pepper of hip-hop. It uses its samples in creative and worthy ways while making it feel like the album wouldn't be as good without them. The lyrics are funny and clever and has some of the best music videos of any album cycle ever that I've come across. Too bad no one in 1998 thought the same. The album sold really poorly. The trio then decided to go back to their punk rock roots. They got a new studio and they eased back on the sampling and they went to more live instrumentation.
Yeah, we sucked, like really bad at first. And it didn't get that much better, but that was the thing that was really fun, is that we sort of figured out a way to do it for ourselves.
Because Paul's Boutique didn't sell as well as they hoped, the lads didn't have a set time to be finished and released. So they spent nearly 2 years working on their third album, Check Your Head. It reached number 10 on the Billboard 100 and it did better than Balls? No, not Paul's Boutique. It reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and it did better than Balls. Goddamn. It reached number 10 on the Billboard 100 and it did better than Paul's Boutique, but nowhere near as good as License to Ill. The album is more punk rock inspired than DIY. Not only did it feature hip hop tracks with a punk flair like Finger Licking Good, Pass the Mic, What You Want and such, but it also featured pure punk rock songs like Gratitude, Pow and Time for Living. It helped the band figure out how to mix both their worlds of hip hop and punk rock, something they would perfect on the next album. In 1993, the trio went back into the studio to create their follow-up album. This would be the album that would encompass their past albums that came before. It would feature sampling like on Paul's Boutique, and a mix of live instrumentation like on Check Your Head, and half of the title of License to Ill. A year later, the album was finished, and the lead single was released. The song in question, Sabotage.
Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, Beastie Boys.
Fuzzy bass, pounding drums, screaming rap vocals, scratching records, and a squeaky guitar riff made up this ingenious piece of music. I consider this a spiritual successor to Gratitude on Check Your Head, music-wise, as the setup is very similar. Reaching number 19 in the UK and number 18 in the US charts, it has been used in so much media since being released, such as Star Trek 09, Star Trek Beyond, Destiny 2, and Minions? Wait, is that right? Are they making another one? Give me a sec. Oh my god, they're actually making another one. No. The lyrics added last minute were about Ad Rock getting annoyed at their producer Mario C for putting them under pressure to add more tracks to the album, while he also tried adding unnecessary samples to certain tracks. And Ad Rock saw it as sabotaging our great works of art.
That song was just a bass line.
I think everyone had just left the room and Yauk stayed in and continued working.
He's like, what song is that? He's like, I don't know, I'm just made it up.
But then Mike came around the corner and I go, what's going on? I go, you're rocking there, dude, get in there, just, play along. And he went in on the drums and bum-bum, bum-bum.
And it sounded really cool. Mike was like, oh, it sounds cool. So then Mark started playing, I started playing.
And the kid went in and just started noodling on one note.
It was the only song really that we recorded in a day, like just the instrumental track, and boom, we're like, that sounds cool.
I go, that sounds like it's gonna work, man. That was it.
Sabotage also helped with the rising trend of rap rock in the 90s, with the likes of Rage Against the Machine, Slipknot, Linkin Park, and Limp Bizkit. The track became even more popular after a fantastic performance on David Letterman and when the music video was released. Directed by Spike Jonze, it parodies cop shows from the 1970s, featuring the band running around with fake mustaches and sunglasses chasing each other. I even found this video of the lads doing an interview in character as the cops from the video, and it's actually great.
I do my stunts. I know that much.
It was Jones's first video with a rap group, and then because of this he started working with more in the future. The video was even nominated for Best Video at the MTV Music Awards, but it lost to R.E.M. MCA went up just as they were accepting their award, dressed up as Nathaniel Hornblower, his alter ego, and just talked pure shite for a minute before getting kicked off.
This is an outrage because Spike is the director, and since I was a small boy, I had dreamed that Spike would win this, and now this has happened, and I just want to tell everyone that this is a farce, that I had all the ideas for Star Wars and everything.
This is basically what happened with Kanye and Taylor Swift, except this was all in good fun, and it wasn't as cringe because Kanye wasn't there.
If she is a hobbit, then how come she don't turn blue when goblins are near? Oh, you didn't think of that!
It's often considered one of the best music videos of the 90s and Spike Jonze's best work. Personally, I think his Buddy Holly video with Weezer and even Drop with the Far Side are much better than this, but the video is a great showcase of his style as a director. Later that year in '94, also known as one of the best years in music, the album Ill Communication was released. And while it didn't contain as many songs sounding like Sabotage, the hip-hop tracks, I'd argue, are some of the group's best work. From the funky flute work on Flute Loop and Sure Shot,
Cause you can, you won't, and you don't stop. Cause you can, you won't, and you don't stop. Oh, when you can, you won't, and you don't stop.
the slower but just as smooth rhymes on Get It Together,
Gotta do it like this, like Chachi and Joni. Cheese, and I'm the macaroni.
rapping about getting back to the roots on Root Down,
So how we gonna kick it? Gonna kick it, root down. Yeah, how you wanna kick it? Gonna kick it, root down. So how you gonna kick it? Gonna kick it, root down.
the beat on Soproso, the beat on Soproso, and the punk-inspired Heart Attack Man. But Sabotage was always a standout. The track not only brought the Beasties back to the limelight, but they also managed to help them shake off the image of being idiotic frat boys that Fight For Your Right turned them into. It's even their most streamed song on Spotify over Fight For Your Right. The group were taken seriously again. Then they were able to release Hello Nasty, cemented their place in the hip-hop world as one of the most successful groups of all time, before releasing 3 more albums before being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The bassline that MCA came up with all those years ago remained one of my favourites ever, and it's what I think of whenever great basslines are brought up with my friends. This makes his passing in 2012 even more tragic, I feel. Who would have thought that 3 kids from New York rapping about parties and such would have such an impact on rock and hip-hop for years to come? Not bad, I must say. And that's how Sabotage saved the Beastie Boys. Because of them writing a song about their producer being a dick.
Oh my, it's a mirage, telling you all it's a sabotage. Sabotage, yeah.